Okay, what's up, guys? Again, this is Gabriel from GabrielGriffin.com. Of course, that's my predominant portfolio of sorts, right? So at the same token, like I had transposed in a prior documentary or visual, such as this podcast on YouTube.com. Again, Gabriel Griffin on YouTube.com, of course. There's links to it again at GabrielGriffin.com. Of course, empirically. As transposed in my last video of sorts, and of course, I kind of Googled the idea of what's the idyllic length of actual visual, such as this, i.e. Tape and etc. So at the same token, it had been emphasized that the attention span is shorter and shorter than it ever once was, right? So 10, 15 minutes, and so I thought, ideally, if possible, I'm gonna try my darndest. So I know the clock is running. I'm gonna try to hit that last buzzer 3 and say my salutations and etc. But I decided in my videos, I'm gonna totally limit it to 5 minutes, because I think that's the best breadth of both worlds, in the context that it's short, concise and to the point, right? So that's hard to do, right? At the same token, I'm gonna try my best, like I said, right? So for what it's worth, I want to comment a few things. This is a video email going out from what is either my blog spot, intellectualbossmoves.com, or again, my personal portfolio of sorts, GabrielGriffin.com. So again, I want to emphasize the power in tools. I've been butchering this quote by Abraham Lincoln and etc., but the quotation reigns so true. Here's the proper quote, I think verbatim, as I just researched a moment ago. If I had 6 hours to cut down a tree, I'd spend 4 of them, sharpening the tool, the axe, and of course, use the remaining 2 to cut down the tree, right? So at the same token, that goes to showcase the value in tools. So this here, the most poignant, important, imperative point of this transmission is just the idea that literally, this is being recorded on a phone device. Do you see the graphics? Do you see the audio quality? Maybe audio quality is less than superior. At the same token, it suffices. And that's half the battle, right? Because you can be anywhere in the whole world, on the whole globe, and transpose your thoughts, your ideas. And there's power in that. So that's a tool. So I'm using this to demonstrate the power in tools. You don't always need this large camera or this or that, etc. It makes for idyllic circumstances, but not always the most necessary circumstances. So a point to be emphasized. Again, at the same token, I want to, make transparent the idea that is so true. There's power in tools. Again, sharpen your axe before you use it. It's a catalysm towards, faster process, right? So at the same token, tools are so important. So make sure you have the right tools to thrust yourself forward towards your trajectory. Of course, so imperative. At the same token, also, where's the opportunity? It's been proposed that the opportunity is with the people. You understand? So at the same token, get out there and network. Now, the people in general, but also there's certain people, right? That that is just the link, the broken link between this and that. So that's so my favorite portion. That's so great. It blows my fucking mind. And at the same token, I'm having to wrap this salutations up. But of course, tools. Make sure you have the tools. There's resources out here. Libraries, books. A lot of power comes from books. This whole new way of learning. It's not the old-fashioned way of learning in the sense that this is a way to learn. As far as depending on where this comes out from, obviously, Intellectual Boss Moves, my institute, and etc. That's in its infancy. Progression towards the future, which is great things to come for all of us who put our minds together. Great things happen aggregately, but also on an independent scale, as far as you and I and you. As far as you need to learn something about law. Legalities are big. There's lots of crooks out here. You got to understand that people are crooked as ever. You got to learn law. You got to learn economics. You got to learn some math on at least a preliminary level. And, business. And also technology and whatever you want to do. Basket weaving, if it's so tickles your fancy. At the same token, you got to emphasize that, business principles, economics, and aggregately, independently, micro, macro scales. So at the same token, this is my salutations. I promise 5 minutes. It was difficult. It was difficult. This is going a little bit past 5 minutes, but again, take care of your body, drink enough water. This has just been a mode of motivation for you and I and you. At the same token, realize that education is valuable. It's invaluable, right? Obviously the price of education has climbed steadily over this past 20 years or more, right? Or beyond, right? So at the same token, if you want to take, and college is part of the structure of the economy, right? It's become more elitism and this and that, etc. Right? At the same token, if you couldn't do it yourself, at least, encourage the next generation to get that tutor that might be, this or that. It doesn't have to be a great expenditure, although it could be, right? Depending on the circumstances. But obviously, there's someone that's mastered a core subject. They probably need employment. Why they're getting further education or doing this or just willing to help. That's why the beauty of connections is so valuable, right? So at the same token, what's the cost of a tutor when it's going to impact the change of your life of a child for the next, the whole impact of a generation of your family for generations to come, right? So that's the power of, putting your mind right and also realizing that, it's not all this, it's not all that, but of course, it's time to focus up. Obviously, we got to take care of ourselves before we help another. And although there's beauty in both, right? If you could do both simultaneously, but at the same token, you got to protect yourself, because if you don't care for yourself, then someone might. But at the same token, sometimes it's so imperative to empower yourself and then simultaneously bear witness for others and also empower others. So at the same token, that's so true. That's the beauty of business at times, right? A win-win situation. Although there is ugliness to all the beauty and etc. But it doesn't have to be to the great extent of you just being just as crooked as some of these people out here. So at the same token, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. A lot of people may try to lie, take advantage of you. Don't fall for the bullshit. Obviously, it takes a lot of work. Sometimes 10,000 hours of training. My buddy, an engineer, proposed that it takes 10,000 hours of training to be, obviously world class. Maybe not the number one spot, but obviously there's positions for you and I and you, all of us, in the whole premises of going forward to build something great. Obviously, we got to be careful, but it is what it is, right? So at the same token, I promised 5 minutes, and I'm going a little bit over, so 8 minutes and running for what it's worth. Again, as I wanted to allude to, this is how I salutation. Most of my transmissions this year, perhaps, at least I proposed, right? 2019, let's get it.